Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July 15th, 2021 Arts and Culture meeting. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Vyar,
Here.
Vidor,
Here.
Sidorian,
Here.
Chairperson Tufenkian.
Here.
Agenda item 1A, regular business agenda, report of the recorder reposting of the agenda. The agenda for the July 15, 2021 regular meeting was posted on July 9th, 2021 on the bulletin board outside of City Hall. Agenda item 2A, minutes of the June 17th, 2021 regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission.
Do we have any changes or additions to the minutes from last time? Anybody? No?
No.
Okay. Do we have a motion to move?
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Seconded.
Thank you. Roll call, Commissioners Vyar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Sidorian,
Yes.
Chairperson Tufenkian.
Yes.
Agenda item 3A, Library Arts and Culture Events, presented by Jennifer Fukutomi, Arts and Culture Administrator. Okay. Now on exhibit at the Adams Grimany Park gas station is Lumpen Station, which is based off of the series The Revolting Lumpen by artists Beck and Cole, which features bright, colorful, multidisciplinary experiences combining wearable sculpture, performance, dance, music, and live operatic vocalizations. The versatility of textiles allows the artist to build elaborate worlds and the themes running through them. The entire installation was created using 3 textiles: velvet, cotton, and mesh, as well as wood, foam, and pegs for structure. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Sorry, I should have put that there. GLAC is now offering limited in-person services at Glendale Central Library, Brand Library, and Montrose Library. We're excited to offer physical collection spaces and technology in a manner that is convenient, safe, and in compliance with state and county public health guidelines. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. And join our goal in reaching 500,000 minutes of community reading this summer. The Summer Reading Challenge is a great way to engage readers of all levels, from children to teens to adults. For more information, you can visit the link on the screen. And that is the library report.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. Next item.
We have, let me check and see if there's oral communication. We have none. Okay, agenda item 5. There are no action items, so we can move on to agenda item 6A, Downtown Arts and Entertainment District construction update. And we have Kirk Keller here, who's from Studio 111, who will be able to provide an update. And we also have some staff members as well on the WebEx who can provide some feedback as well. Kirk?
Hi, good evening, or good afternoon. Thank you. We're very excited to get back on track after being basically on hold for about a year due to the pandemic. But we've really been working closely with the fire department, with Chief Fire Marshal Ragusa and Assistant Foster McLean, and we've developed a plan that incorporates the final design of our project with some fire truck staging areas. And so we've been able to develop a plan that the fire department can approve. And we've been working closely with Edward Hitty in the Public Works Department to develop a series of construction drawings. And we have just recently submitted a 90% set, which means we're really close to the finish line, getting to the point where the project can go out to bid. And just to give you an idea of what is incorporated into that construction document set, I'll just quickly read kind of the different sets of drawings that we've generated with both Studio 111 as the architect, urban designer, and landscape architect, as well as our consultants. We've developed signage, striping, and traffic modification plans, street improvement plans, which are the civil engineering drawings. We've got graphics and wayfinding to help people kind of walk through the space and be identified where else to go. We have street lighting plans, hardscape and landscape, site furnishings, any improvements we're doing to the parking structure facades. And then we have specifications and a bid form that we're working with Public Works Department. And then once we have 100% documentation, the project will be going out to bid. And so we're on schedule and hope to have that 100% set finished within the next 2 months.
Kirk, did you want me to share the PDF that you sent earlier of the rendering?
If you'd like, I'm not sure if we need to do that or if the update I just gave was enough. I'm not sure if there's any questions I can answer, or if we need the plan for visual, certainly we can share it.
Okay, I will pull it up just for reference.
Great. So this plan, you can see there's areas that are highlighted in yellow. We've identified which buildings are above 30 feet, in which they would need a ladder truck to access and fight any fires. So we've identified, with the help of the fire department, different staging areas where emergency vehicles and fire trucks can come through and still access the buildings for life safety. But at the same time, we are enabling a one-way design, which was the initial concept approved by council. And so we basically are really figured out how everything's working, incorporating life safety.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kirk.
Oh, you're welcome.
You know, for some reason, I didn't get the visuals on my screen or on this screen, so it's hard to see over there. Oh, great, thank you. So this extends from Harvard all the way to Broadway, or?
Harvard to Broadway is only half of it, so it extends 2 blocks.
2 blocks, okay.
Right.
Very nice. Okay, any questions from my fellow commissioners? Commissioner Villar?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Vidor?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Zadorian?
No questions.
Okay, well, looks very exciting and can't wait to see this come to fruition. Thank you for your update.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will move on to agenda item 6B, Labas Projects RFQ update. And the commission packet includes the draft RFQ that Labas Projects has drafted for your review. We are working with them. They had established these 7 locations based on the May 20th regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. And the proposed timeline in which to release this RFQ is the end of July. So we are looking for commission's comments in regards to the RFQ.
This is Gary Schaefer, Director, Library Arts and Culture. Mr. Grant, can I ask when you would like to share the community comments? Mr. Grant?
Yes, yes. Chair DeFunkian and commissioners, you can discuss this first, and then at a later point in the discussions, you can share the written email.
Hard to hear.
If I may, just to, if I could address some of those. I'm getting an echo, so I don't know if someone could mute. Number one, this is a national call, so we apologize if this was conveyed that this was not a national call. It is. Sorry, again, still getting the echo, so it's a little disconcerting. It's also just a draft, so not all the details are shared in it at this point. We certainly can include the contract, which the city contract, we're working on that right now, if commission thinks that would be a good idea. And because we don't really have a hard schedule on some of the items, we can't necessarily have a very hard timeline to share. But please discuss amongst yourselves, and happy to answer any other questions that I might be able to answer. Thank you.
Okay. So are we going to go over the RFQ before we open it up to fellow commissioners, or?
No, the intent was to just have commission feedback. I mean, the RFQ was included in the packet, so I wasn't planning to go through each part of the RFQ.
Okay. All right. So Commissioner Villar, any additions or questions regarding the RFQ?
Well, I do have a question, not specifically about the 7 locations that are listed on the RFQ, but the analysis says that there are 3 specific installations that are on hold until final locations are determined, and I was wondering if those locations are being drawn from a short list that already exists, or if Labas is going to be exploring other locations.
Thank you, Commissioner Vire. That's a great question. So from what I understand, Labas took a lot of great feedback from that May 20th meeting, and I think there were actually locations that you had mentioned and other commissioners had mentioned as potential locations. So they're continuing to scout those locations. They were here this week. And so there is a short list that the commission has discussed. But of course, moving forward, we'll let you know whatever their final recommendations are.
Okay, I would like to see them speak with the community college personnel.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I agree. I think it would be good to see the short list. Commissioner Vidor, any questions or additions?
Yeah, I do. I made a number of comments. Some of them are a little bit more, rhetoric and verbiage, and some of them are more content specific, and I'm going to send them to you because you really don't want to go over these with me the way I have written them on television. I think it's going to be too detailed. So I'll just highlight a few things, if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
And then send it along. In general, the word I can't think of the right word, just kind of bland, like I'd like to use stronger, impactful art. I hope that in terms of describing the art we're looking for, we can avoid the use of the word sculpture. Sculpture invokes an image of, bronze sculptures and things. I think we should refer to the general art pieces as installations, and then right at the beginning say what it is, that we aren't putting any limits on the genre or type of art. It can be sculptural, three-dimensional, immersive, all kinds of things, but don't use the word sculpture as the definitive description of what these things are. And then, let's see. The understanding of the city of Glendale, I thought, could be expanded a little bit. One of the unique things about Glendale is not only that it's bordered by the Verdugo mountain range, but that it's actually surrounded by a number of mountain ranges. And yes, we can boast gracious hillside homes of notable diverse architectural heritage and lush landscape, and we have a lot of freeways, but we also have a very large valley in South Glendale, the densest and most populous area, that consists of modest ranchland and farmland. And so rather than characterize the city as an affluent suburban homeowning area, I think the diversity of the socioeconomic demographics of Glendale should be highlighted as well. And another thing about Glendale that is unique is its remarkable access to other places. And I'm thinking of key neighborhoods in Los Angeles that we border, like Glassell Park and Atwater Village and Eagle Rock, as well as several municipalities that we border. So accessibility to the greater LA area is very important. I also think when talking about ethnic and cultural diversity, that my opinion is we shouldn't say there's a certain percentage of people who are this or that. You know, for instance, we can say there's a very large Armenian community here, and there's also a community of, and then continue on from there. I think we should mention Black in Glendale when we talk about specific organizations, as well as the ones we've mentioned. And I think when we talk about the city's unfortunate history of racial discrimination, we should be much more definitive and strong in our rebuke of that and say something to the effect of Glendale has openly acknowledged its unfortunate history of discrimination and has apologized and committed to atone for these practices in a formal resolution that was published X. So people can look at that and then say, we are the first city in California to have done so and the third in the country. So that we're giving kind of a strong rebuke. I also think we might want to mention our, you know, the Native Americans who inhabited this area before settlers got here. On the subject of downtown, it says a mix of big box stores and I don't remember what it said, but I think we should characterize the commercial downtown as a mix of department stores, chains, and small independent businesses. Saying it's a big box store area kind of makes it sound like Walmart takes up half of Glendale. So, you know, I think we should expand that a little bit. On the list of cultural resources, change Japanese tea house to tea house and garden. Add Casa Adobe de San Rafael as another cultural resource. And I think Gary just mentioned, I was confused by the curatorial expectations, but you're saying this is a national call. So that'll be changed from Glendale, LA, and California to say it's a national call. Let's see. I'm interested. This is not part of the RFQ, but I'm very interested in us discussing at some point who the selection committee, what that's going to consist of and who those people are going to be. I don't think that belongs in the RFQ. You mention it, but I would like to have further discussion about that. And then I also think that the time given from the release of the RFQ to the actual deadline, considering the interim steps, is not quite long enough, and we should expand that a little bit if we can. You know, I realize your endpoint is sometime in October, so you've given us a great amount of leeway to end this thing sometime in October, either the beginning or the end. So can we push that deadline back a little to give people more time to submit? And then, yeah, sculpture, that was my only other thing. So that's it for me. I'll send you my notes.
Thank you, Commissioner Vidor. Good points. Commissioner Zadorian, anything you'd like to add?
Yes. One, Arlene, thank you for pretty much covering all the bases. That was great. It looks great. It's easy to follow for somebody who's going through it and applying. I definitely want to add to the transparency in including the selection process. I definitely want to double down on that. I agree with including that. There was just one area where the verbiage was kind of confusing in where it said the eligibility. There was one part that said artists who have not previously worked in public art, but that can demonstrate an ability. It was a little confusing only because it's saying that if you don't have it, you can, but kind of saying if you have public art background, that's obviously going to be a plus and an advantage, and we want that. If you don't, of course, you can still apply. I just want to add that kind of in either in parentheses or whatnot. The other part is I know that the locations we chose, I was not there for that meeting, but I did want to see more of, Montrose Shopping Center in South Glendale. This is very entertainment district and North Glendale centric. Maybe that's something we can handle later. I'm not sure if that's something we can add in at the moment. But if not, that's fine. I just wanted to see more of South Glendale as a gateway and North Glendale, and I'm not referring to above the freeway, I'm referring to Montrose as North Glendale as a gateway as well into Glendale and including those. But other than that, I did not have much to add.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you for covering everything. Yeah, I think all the questions have been pretty much covered. Once this is updated, will we get another chance to look at it, or?
Sure, if the commission would like to see it once again, we can ask, just know that the timeline would shift. So it makes it a little longer
Okay.
for us to release the actual RFQ if we have to come back next month or in the future meeting.
Okay, and where would the RFP be submitted?
It'll be released via a link and a website called Submittable, which many artists are, familiar with applying via Submittable. We'll also put it on our Arts and Culture Commission website. We'll send it out through our networks and through our social media handles and everything.
So if it's nationwide, how would artists on the East Coast find it?
I believe Submittable is kind of like Cafe, where it's an artist call that artists are used to going to, seeing where different national calls are. Labas also has a network and a list of artists that they recommend and are going to be sending it to as well.
Okay.
But we can make sure to double down and make sure that that's known.
Okay. I guess I would open it up to commissioners. Would you like to see it again next week, or should we just stick to our whatever we submitted today, whatever changes we asked for today, and stick to the timeline?
I mean, if we can get everything in by the next month's meeting, yes, we would love for that. So I guess we need to discuss amongst ourselves what's the most important and what's not. I think Arlene's is mainly verbiage and including it. I only named one thing that would kind of change the concept, which was the Montrose shopping area in South Glendale. So if that's not something we're interested in, I'm okay with that. But Arlene's points were mainly things that we should be including and can be included by next month, if we all agree on it.
Okay.
I'm okay either way with seeing it or not, as long as we have, some assurance that all, written and verbal suggestions that we have made here and that have come in are going to be addressed. I'm not, I don't want to hold things up, because I also asked that we give a little bit more time on the deadline, so that will double down on pushing the whole
Right.
project back. So
Yeah.
maybe I need some guidance on that. I'm not sure what's best.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Gary Schaefer, again, Director of Library Arts and Culture. So I think you all had, excellent points. I appreciate Commissioner Vidor is going to be sending us those comments, so those should be easy to include. I thought they were well addressed. Such things like, as example, not describing Glendale downtown as a place with big box stores. So we'll definitely include that. There may be certain things that the consultant, who this is what they specialize in, chose certain language for certain reasons. So I think we should defer to the expert and with some of those things.
Yes.
But I think most of the comments that I've heard today seem to be, comments, things that a local longtime resident would know that the consultant wouldn't, and we would want to incorporate. So I'd like to assure you that they will be incorporated as best as possible. And if you'd like, once those are incorporated, we could send them to the commissioners separately before the next commission meeting to look at them independently. And if there were any other feedback, you could provide that back to us. But I'm hopeful we can capture most everything.
Sounds good, thank you. So we'll leave it as is.
I have one more comment.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. I thought that Savannah's comment was, that was one I didn't mention it, but I also made note of that it was a little unclear about the requirements to engage in this or apply for the project. And I'm not clear on I realize it's a national call, but in terms of having experience with these types of large public art projects, is our intention to have people demonstrate that they've done things on a similar scale as what they're going to submit to us, or not?
I mean, the scale of these projects, I think, go from $75,000 to $200,000. They're very big calls, so it is likely they will be awarded to people with experience, but anyone can apply to the call. And if their work is, of note, I'm certain the selection committee, which will be made up of the commissioners, and Jennifer and probably myself, would, take note of extraordinary work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just to clarify, we have 7 locations at the moment, and we're considering 3 more for the future, right?
Director Schaefer is now the moment where we should discuss the selection panel and recommendations for how the commission would like to proceed, since we're talking about the RFP.
We certainly can.
No.
Okay.
Chair.
I must defer to legal counsel.
No, this was agenda to talk about the RFP, the separate discussion about what the composition of the committee we should agendize on a future commission. What we can discuss now is the comments from the public about the RFQ.
Okay.
Which I was hopeful I had addressed, but please, if there's anything else.
Okay.
Was there any confusion, or would you like to talk about Ms. O'Connor's email? I believe Director Schaefer discussed
I think it was pretty clear and it was pretty detailed, so I'm okay with that. And Commissioner Villar, did you have any questions or additions to Ms. O'Connor's email?
No.
Okay. And Commissioner Vidor, I think you addressed it as well.
Yeah, I read her email and I agreed with everything.
Yes.
So I thought it was a good set of suggestions.
And Commissioner Zadorian?
I agree, and everything that she noted was fine for me.
Okay. And yeah, I agree. I agree with everything Ms. O'Connor said. I think it would be better to have some of the details that she requested, and then also to have a sample of the contract.
Okay.
So, okay. Thank you.
Great. So
We're just moving along, right?
Yes. So just for clarity, I will incorporate all the edits that you provided. Thank you for providing edits for the RFQ. I will share that with LaBasse. LaBasse will incorporate that, and as soon as they have an updated draft, I will share it with the commission before it's officially released, but ideally before the next commission meeting.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 6C, 2021-2022 work plan progress updates. Let me see if I can. Okay, does everyone see that on the screen? Great.
Yes.
Okay, so we have first up, as part of our Art Happens Anywhere program, as I mentioned in the report, there are 9 remaining projects that are due to be launched within the next time frame, which is September 2021 through June 2022. On the screen, you can see a list of proposed dates that all of the artists have potentially agreed to launch their projects. So we're very in good shape, I believe. We have our first 2 murals that are coming up in September. In October, we're going to be having the Light Waves installation by 1111 Creative Collective. November through December, we have some projects to be discussed, which I'll discuss a little further. In January, we'll have the Blue Bomber Art Collective Impending Storms at Central Library. In April, we'll have Learn and Ensembles performance, and in June and 4th and 5th of 2022, we'll have the Drive-Thru Arts Festival. So I wanted to focus your attention specifically on the 3 projects that are set to be released, or launched, I should say, in November through December of 2021. First up, we have Kathy Horrendous piece, Ride Like the Wind, and so this project is currently under administrative review with staff We are going through the next steps of the actual site location. We are in the process of talking with our risk management department in regards to insurance and engineering requirements. So we are due to be launching that as soon as possible. So that's the update there. With Jennifer Benson Gable's meter pole art, staff has met with the parking department, and we are in the process of attending the upcoming Downtown Glendale Business Association on next Tuesday to talk about the project. There will be a pilot launch we are hoping to do at the city campus, which is around City Hall, and utilizing those meters as kind of like the pilot of the program. Hopefully that will happen within the next few months. And then we're also going to see if the Downtown Business Association is open to having some of the meter pole wraps within the downtown area. So we'll be able to provide an update on that. And Versatile Dance Company did a fantastic performance at the Brand Library as part of their dance series, which we were very excited about. And we will be talking to them regarding their performance, as the commission requested that it would be an in-person activity. So they were wanting to see kind of when the pandemic was ending, or when gatherings were going to be allowed. So they'll be launching their AHA project sometime in the fall. And I'll make sure to provide an update when I have a solidified date for that. Are there any questions in regard to the projects?
Just that I'm very happy that
Madam
these are
Chair?
going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah, Madam Chair, I
Yes.
just wanted to, Jennifer had touched on the Versatile Dance Company, and as she said, they did do a filmed dance performance up at Brand Library. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's accessible on the Brand Library's website. Please do check it out. It's really great, and it will be wonderful to have them perform in front of an audience sometime this fall.
Thank you.
any other questions?
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Sure,
Appreciate the information.
absolutely. Okay, I will move on. Well, actually, I don't have another slide for the next one, but in regards to the mural ordinance update, staff has been working with Sarah Odenkirk in regards to the current, providing her feedback on the processes and procedures for Glendale Municipal Code 3047. She is currently drafting recommendations on policies and procedures for artists submitting through the mural process, as well as agreements, and we'll be able to provide an update at the next commission meeting. I will go to the next slide, which we are very excited to share. The Brand Library Plaza series is back. Yay. It's going to be taking place this August through September from 7 to 8:30. And we have, these are artists that were previously approved by the commission for 2020. So these artists confirmed their availability. They were really excited to perform this year. So we are excited to share these artists as part of the Brand Library Plaza series. We have Black Market Reverie starting off in August 13th, the Leftover Cuties, which is a great local band, Sonrios, the Romies, and Reckless Night Ensemble. So we're very excited about that.
Very excited.
And this is
Thank
at
you.
Brand Library, right?
Correct. This is going to be located at the Brand Library. The location is a little bit different, so it's not going to take place on the plaza. It's going to take place actually at the very bottom of the Brand Library, facing towards the entrance. But we can provide a better visual map on that when we get closer to the date. But it is at the Brand Library. If you go there, you'll hear music.
On the lawn, on the grass area, or?
It's kind of the bottom of the Brand Library, so audience members will be sitting on the grassy hill area, and then the actual stage will be located in that kind of middle island,
Oh, beautiful.
so that it can accommodate more people.
Oh, that's going to be actually very special. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Any questions
Great
regarding
idea.
the Brand Library series?
Commissioner Vayard?
No comments, except I'm really excited about it. Thank you.
And Commissioner Vidor?
Great idea for the location and looking forward to it.
And Commissioner Zadorian?
Looks great. No comments. Thank you.
Thank you for making it happen.
Thank you.
And I would just like to add that it was actually the brand associates, particularly Deb Thompson, that suggested that area. So I do want to give credit where credit is due. We'll see how it goes.
Perfect.
Great.
Great. Thank you, Deb.
Okay, moving on to the 22T's concert series. Again, these artists were also pre-approved as part of the 2020 222 East concert series. They were also very excited to come back this year. and perform. So we have a great list of artists who are going to be performing this year. We have Paris Chanson, Mofoho, Kotolan, Coveted Future, and the Igor Kogan Quintet, which will all be a great series. They'll take place Saturdays at 4 o'clock on the Artsock Paseo, directly next to the Studio Movie Grill in that kind of area near the Uradu Coffee. So we're very excited about that series as well.
So now, do these need to be fenced off, and is it going to be COVID? No, all open.
Thankfully.
Thank God. Good.
We bypassed that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, and so those are the updates that we have. Okay,
Okay, and moving along, do we have anything else?
we have agenda item 6D, marketing and communications for arts and culture projects in Glendale, and that was a standing item. that you
Which
did.
we have all these wonderful things going on, and it would be great to get the word out even more. So, I guess for the time being, I would suggest that maybe if us commissioners can just share it on our own social media and start with that. That might be a good way to start, and then we can think of bigger and better ways to share the work.
Mhm.
Any other suggestions, ideas? Commissioner Bayar?
Not right now.
Commissioner Vidor?
Always happy to share it. It would be kind of cool, and this may be my lack of technical facility, but to be able to hit a share button off of the Library Arts and Culture social media to go to other social media. Like sometimes when I hit Facebook because it says Facebook at the bottom, and I'll go to Facebook and it's your Facebook page, Library Arts and Culture, and then I don't see the event that I'm trying to, it's not readily visible. Is there a way that we can share directly off of your social media to our own personal social media?
I can address that. Number one, I just wanted to add that the library will also, of course, be promoting these things on our social media. And then, yes, I know use the old-fashioned technology of Twitter, but I, come across something the library's promoted and I retweet it. So certainly you guys are more than welcome to retweet, repost, pull things off. If you don't find it on our Facebook page, that little surprising, but you can certainly pull it right off the Arts and Culture Commission page and link from there and promote it on your social media. Please feel free to do that.
Yeah, I was more thinking of the email versions that come out, and then at the bottom, there's social media links on those email posts, and I was wondering if a share thing could be embedded there where you'd be able to share that actual event right off, email. But, there's probably other ways to do it, and I'll just figure it out.
I can definitely ask staff. That's a great idea.
okay.
I don't know. We have a new e-blast software called Savannah that I'm not familiar with, but I can ask staff if that's possible.
Perfect, thank you. Commissioner Zadorian, any suggestions?
No suggestions, just I think we should start discussing. I know it's always been difficult to get new people on board, but somebody within marketing on our team, if we really want to push our events and everything forward, whether it's through the city of Glendale, and I know we've had this conversation before, and we had somebody with a marketing background at the library who was doing some work for us. So I don't know if that's possible again, if there's anybody there. So I'm not saying hire somebody, because I know that's always a very difficult process, but either an intern, a marketing intern, something where we can get someone to push forward our marketing efforts within the Library Arts and Culture. And maybe Gary, you might have any ideas with that.
So the city is under a hiring freeze right now, so we are not able to hire anyone for that, but we're always open to those things. I know Jennifer has been the master of getting, or mistress of getting interns, and she has another one starting soon, another one coming later this year. Perhaps they can focus more on marketing, and we will of course, look to whatever we can do to market things. I just want to remind the commission, while these things are all important to all of us, each day you're hit with 15,000 different messages, and which ones, rise to the surface. So everyone's competing for a share of your mind.
Right. Gary, what about if we were to look at PR companies? Could we partner up with some PR companies? Someone who would be...
We can certainly look at that. That we have on the agenda now, would you like to move to the back burner so that we could focus on that? So should we delay the mural ordinance and focus on that, or the LaBasse? So that's really what it boils down to, is that timeshare.
Why does it have to be one or the other?
Because Jennifer is one person.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can certainly agendize it, and as things get done, so those things aren't lasting forever, then we can move that. That moves closer to the top of the agenda.
Definitely.
And we can certainly discuss that and consider that further.
Yeah.
It is something I would be very open to doing. It's just a matter of the time of writing an RFP, conducting a search. I know at least one of the commissioners, if not more, has been involved in an RFP process, and it just takes time.
Right. Yes, and Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate that keeping it on the agenda. I think it's good for us to just have it in the back of our minds or in front of on the agenda and discuss it on a monthly basis. So time will come.
Absolutely. And one thing I will share, as Director Schaefer said, we do have some interns and apprentices that are coming in. One of them was supposed to start earlier in June, and unfortunately she's from France and had some visa issues and couldn't start as earlier as we'd hoped. So she's going to be starting in August.
Okay.
And one of the things that we could make as a focal point for her is assessing our marketing and communications and providing some feedback for that. So we can kind of rotate her focus and focus it on marketing and communications.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 7, commission staff comments.
Just a big thank you and round of applause to you and to Gary Schaefer. So thank you for all you're doing.
Sure.
Any other comments?
Oh, I think we're doing very well. A tremendous amount of work is happening. Thank you all very much. And we definitely can get to the marketing thing. And I think once the LaBasse call is completed, then that should, that'll be a great time to revisit the marketing thing. But thank you, Dr. Schaefer and Jennifer Fukutomi Jones, for all the work you're doing, and everybody who's involved in the Library Arts and Culture staff gets big kudos from you.
Well, and thank you to you all for your volunteer efforts. You're doing this for fun and for free, and we appreciate you.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it?
Written communications, we have none, and so it's adjournment.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for your service.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
That was a